welcome to the Daily Dose.
Didn't they tell us don't rush into things and you flash your green eyes at me? Didn't you calm my fears with a treasure cat?
Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, so my name is Jasmine. I am like a model, smiled actress, and I also have my own podcast called Fun Girl Podcast. But yeah, so I'm a college student trying to do all of this and just, that's me.
Live. So the first podcast we're going to do is basically just going to be me and you just kind of going off on the situation right now. And I've been very excited. I've got things saved. I've got a 40-page
put together
stuff. And yeah, let's get started. I think the main focus is going to be Hailey Bieber, Selena Gomez, Justin Bieber, and the Kardashians, because they're annoying as hell, but we're going to start from there. So what are your thoughts as you said, you're part of the Stan Twitter? What are your first thoughts?
Well, I feel like I've always been such a big fan of Justin and Selena. I grew up with them. Like, I remember being in elementary school and they were just starting out. So now that I'm like about to graduate college in like a year, it's a long time that I've cared about them, you know?
Yeah.
But like growing up as like a preteen and a teenager, it's like you witness all this stuff, and I don't really use Twitter at all anymore except to like promote my podcast, but I used to really be deep into Twitter like most of us.
Yeah.
So, you know, things that would come out like in the tabloids and stuff like that, everyone would just go to Twitter to like discuss or like share their like immediate thoughts on things.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I used to be one of those people. I'm not anymore because I do feel like it can be like toxic and overwhelming. But because of that, I do feel like I know a lot of the stuff that's been out on TikTok and everything right now.
You were there live.
Yeah, like as it was all happening every single year, it was like I was there. I knew.
Yeah, literally. I was the same thing because I was in high school when the whole Selena Gomez and like Justin Bieber thing happened. And I was there when she did the interview. It was like, he's like my brother. And then when they started dating, I was like, but didn't she just say that that's her brother like literally a week ago? Like, what are you guys running around for? But I always thought she was so much older than him. Then I realized it's only like 2 years. But because they were so young and he did not hit puberty properly, it was different in height. And then it kind of just like beat up. But yeah, I remember everything. I remember from like the first time that they were seen together and that purple long sleeve. That's right. I remember what she was wearing. And
like the striped one.
Yeah, and then they were like running around like his tour bus or something to run up from paparazzi.
I remember the outfits. I don't really know like the backstory of what that date was, but I guess that was like their first sighting together.
Yeah, that was their first like official. But then they were like, no, we're friends. But I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
No, I like them. They were cute together, but I honestly always thought that she deserved better. Like 100%. For me, I thought she deserved better. And like the first time I ever heard of Justin Bieber was I was in Australia literally like 2 years before I came, and it was this video he posted on YouTube. I think it was singing "With You" with Chris Brown.
Oh, like one of his
YouTube like OG stuff, and that was the first one that I saw, and I was like, "Oh, this kid is so cute." So me and my cousin used to always have that one song on repeat. So that when he became famous here, I called her. I was like, "Guess who's famous in Canada?" Because she's Canadian. And she's like, "Who?" Like that kid that used to sing that "With You" song, and she's like, "He's not popular here yet." And like 5 months later, it was popular in Australia as well. But no, I remember it from back then. But I never thought he was like dating cute, but I guess Selena saw that.
You know, like, I would say at the time, like being the kind of kid that I was, he was someone that I had like posters of up in my room.
Of course.
And so I could see that. But that was like he's a few years older than me, but he, you know, that was like my
You were
age.
younger.
Yeah, so because like that probably wasn't in yours, you're like,
My
I don't see it. He looks like a little
brother, so I
kid.
feel you
Yeah.
about that.
So to me, like I remember thinking before it happened, I'm like seeing those interviews that you were talking about where they're mentioning each other. I used to always say like, "Oh, they should date." And I really remember thinking it mostly as a kid just because like they were my two favorite people.
Of course,
So, I was like, "Oh my gosh, what if they ever, and then
they did.
hey,
They listened
yeah."
to you. They were like, "She wants it to happen. We're gonna make it happen." No, but I literally was like, they were so on and off. To be honest, when I like read this entire book of timelines, um, I thought like they were together for so much longer than like a year before their first breakup. Like it felt like to me like a solid 2 years or three
Mhm.
years before they broke up. But if they broke up like the first time they broke up was like after like almost a year.
So, yeah, I think
That's what it's.
during that time, I didn't realize that either. Like, I never knew that I think the tabloids at least say that the first one was like the end of 2012.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so that kind of shocked me like years later when I was looking into it because I'm like,
Because
uh,
the main one I remember was 2014.
yeah, it felt like that was the one really, and
Yeah.
it was consistent all the way through. But I feel like we, as just like outsiders, it's easy to think that because they were just, back around each other so
Yeah.
quickly afterwards that you
I think they
didn't
were like
really.
broken up for like what, maybe like a month, and they were like, back together.
Yeah, like you didn't really think
Yeah,
it was true. Maybe the magazines are wrong or whatever, but
maybe, but like it's so weird. I literally was like, oh, they broke up that early. It made no sense. But the whole what I've learned that for the whole drama thing, I remember. Do you remember Coachella when they went? She went out with Kendall and Kylie to Coachella. I used
yeah,
I was like so in love with that because I was like back in the day when I loved like Kylie's like stuff like what she was wearing, and then
yeah.
obviously then she changed her entire face and look and it changed, but I was like it's so weird they're hanging out together like it's so unusual.
Like
To
worlds
me. Yeah, I was like
colliding.
how do they even hang out? Because I think the only time I saw them together was the girls at her 16th birthday party that she invited them to, and the Kardashians were there too. So I was like, oh, I guess they're friends. And then I learned like they were being little conniving people and like texting Justin and stuff. And I literally was like, oh my god, there's no friends in this place. No one's a real friend here, like at all.
I will say, like, that's another thing that at the time I didn't really know the backstory because I wasn't really into them like that, like
Mm,
the Kardashian
I didn't
family.
either.
So I just kind of got that information later on in life, but I can say, from like experience, I know what that. Well, I know how those situations play out. Like
Yeah,
I had not like a group of people, but like there was a time in my life where there were people in my corner that like would kind of lift you up of like what you've got going on with someone,
yep.
but on the side they have this whole plot that you didn't know about or like
Shit, constant,
no loyalty there when it comes to that kind of
literally.
situation. So I think just in general, it's not above any girl, like unless you're just truly not that kind of
Yeah,
person. But I don't think it's above anyone to be like that, especially when you're in that age that they were
yeah,
at the time, like what 18
yeah.
to
It was
19 ish, So
either way.
maybe younger
No, she was
even, maybe like
18. It was 2014. I was 19 2014, so she was the same age as me.
so then yeah, like they were younger than her, like high school
Y-
age, and that's the same age I was when that stuff was
Yeah,
happening to me. I don't put it past anyone to be like that.
yeah.
It didn't
But it's
really surprise
so weird that like they kept that. Ooh, they kept that mean girl energy. And I never. The only time I used to watch the Kardashians was when I was in Australia, and that was because we had like this. We paid for the satellite dish thing, so we got E News, and that was back in like the first season of Kardashians. And then I used to
me.
like watch it sometimes when it was on, and the girls would be on there, and they were like constantly fighting back then. Like they would like beat each other up, and then I was like, these kids are gonna grow up and beat each other. And I was right. But mentally, they're beating each other. Like, they're literally the biggest mean girls, but they look so nice. They look like they're so put together. And I literally was like, you know what? Maybe they're just, people are just talking too much, like, shit, like, it's whatever. And then people, like, if it's a constant thing that people are saying that you are this way, maybe it's true. You know what I mean? So I literally was like, this is why I don't fuck with the family no more. I was like, I don't follow any of them anyways, so I was like, I don't really care. Well, I don't really care much for it anyhow. But now they're like everywhere. Anything they do is just there. And I tell everybody the only thing that they did that was good for people like me was bringing sweatpants into fashion. Literally.
No, I know what you mean. I just don't really vibe with it. I'm not gonna act like I was always a perfect person or I was
No,
always the
same. I get you.
nicest person. You know, but still, there's a point when like you can recognize the behavior and just not like mess
No
with
one
it. I
found it.
Yeah, and like you said, sometimes you have to like give people the benefit of the doubt or overlook stuff that it's like just speculation.
Yeah.
But when it is kind of like a consistency with certain things, it's like, okay, this really just is in this
Yeah.
person's nature to do this. Um and that's something that I'm like,
I
I
never do
can't.
it.
Like the one of the main reasons that I've really always loved Selena through like my childhood to now is just because of like how nice she is.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, she's not perfect
No.
either, but the things that she stands for, the things that she like puts out
Yeah.
there, I like stand more for that kind of behavior. And maybe, you know, it looks different to some people why you support like a certain like celebrity or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, but for me, I really admire Selena in a way that I'm like, I wish that I could do this
Of
more. I wish I
course.
could, you know, like some of the things that she's done and like stood for. I'm like, man, I want to admire you to kind of like reflect on myself, be my own person, but be like, okay, that's someone that I can respect and look up to. If I don't really feel like I can look up to you,
No
then,
point.
you know, it's no
If you're
point
not
of,
relatable to me, it's not gonna. It doesn't
yeah.
happen. No, Selena's the same. I used to love Miley Cyrus first, and then my best friend liked Selena when she came out with Wizards. I was like, I will never betray Miley Cyrus. Never. I don't like it. It was part of the Nayli and Nelena situation. So I was Team Miley and Nick, obviously. So I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
never. And then 2010 came, and it was 2010. There wasn't the year of change or something that Nick did for his album, and I was like, oh my god, I'm in love with Nelena. I want them to happen forever. Then
Yeah.
I realized they were not good together at all, like at all. That was kind of my vibe for Justin Bieber and Selena. Like they were cute in some stages, but then every time they broke up, like he was constantly with other girls, like different girls every week. And I was like, Selena's just chilling over there in the corner with no guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like,
Or like if she is, she's not really putting it out there. She's keeping that private
yeah,
and just
like you don't have to
living
bring
normal.
noir. Like she could have had men
Yeah.
lined up her door, but she's not like, here's my Instagram story of the guys lined up today. Like you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
as the Kardashians, no thanks. I like supported Kylie once with the lip kits when it first came out. Horrendous. Absolute horrendous. Literally the
Oh,
lip liner, I would tilt it, the lid would come out.
oh
And then the little
gosh.
lipstick, like they had like some sort of like oil or something on top. It was horrible. I threw them all out. But
Yeah, I never bought any of them or anything.
honestly, but no, now Hailey wise, when did you ever hear of Hailey Bieber? Hailey Baldwin, because that's who she is.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna say from my memory, the first time that she popped up on my radar was like
Which
2015. So that makes sense because that's like the time where it was, I think, like this New Year's
Mm-hmm.
photo. That's what kind of first brought it out because he posted that, and then from there, you see it like a thing or two more, and like as social media does, it really started to grow from
Yeah.
there because once like someone's favorite celebrity is dating anyone, like online, they start to just dig into their past and like investigate to see who this
Yep.
person is. So I'm seeing stuff like, oh, I remember, I think her uncle is the one
Was
that's
it?
like um the bigger
Yeah, Alec
actor of the
Baldwin.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm like learning these things, but that is like the
That's the
first
only
time I
thing.
heard
Yeah,
of
I never knew who she was either until like that time when like the news broke out. Because that's when I thought they really broke up because they were
it.
apart for
Mm-hmm.
so long. So I thought that was their main breakup. And then like I see him like posting photos with Kendall, and then posting photos with Hailey, and I was like, who is this Hailey? Like Hailey Baldwin, like is she related to them? And then I found out who her dad is. I was like, oh, the least favorite Baldwin brother. Okay, no problem. Now I know who her dad is. But after that,
Mm-hmm.
I literally didn't know like who she was as a person, and I've noticed that every time she talks about how she met Justin, it's a different story. Like the first time that I heard her say a story was like, "Oh, my dad introduced us, this and that," but apparently, like she was a fan of him, and she was like around his hotel and stuff back in 2011. Like I literally was watching videos, and it's just her. You know how when we were younger, we would go line up or go find the hotels, and we would stand outside and be like, I wonder if they're gonna come from the front door or the back door today. You know, so like there was fans
Yeah.
everywhere, and all you see is Justin walking out, and then Haley's behind him, like when she was like so much younger, and I was like, oh, so she was there, but if you were there as Hailey Baldwin, you wouldn't be with the fans lined up like that. You know what I mean? You'd be beating him inside. And then, like, anywhere he went, she was there. Like, she was literally behind him. Everywhere that I went. And I was like, girl, this is kind of creepy, but you manifested that so hard. You, like, put that
Yeah.
into the universe so hard that the universe was like, just let her have it. Let her have it. But it was really creepy to me.
Yeah.
Like, super.
I can definitely attest to like obviously how it started this video off is I used to be one of those like stan Twitter, like stan Instagram, like community
Yeah.
people.
Okay.
So I'm like I can totally understand how that goes. You're like infatuated with a like celebrity or just someone, and you have the ability to go to like see where they are because you'd love to meet them in real life or just see them. We all would love those experiences, and for some people, you're lucky enough to get that. So if you're in New York and there's like a thing like the celebrities in town or something, then
Why
yeah,
not?
because I'm like, why not? I know it wasn't in the way that we're seeing some of these videos with her or like
Yeah,
some of
like you'd be
these
standing there. Yeah.
yeah, but like I remember getting to skip school and go to the city to like go to a talk show that I know like someone that I'm like really interested in is going to be
Yeah.
at, or like whatever, camp outside for
Mm.
something. But yeah, never in that sense, I don't think, but I can understand where she
And
had the
too,
ability to do
yeah,
that.
I can
Like,
understand too, but like to me, it was like remember. I don't know if you're old enough to remember this, but you probably are. Remember Stalker Sarah?
oh no, yeah, I
Yeah,
know her.
she was everywhere, and in a way, I was like, at first, I was a little jealous. I'm like, oh, she's so lucky. She gets to meet these people, and then I was like, okay, now you're kind of literally stalking these people, and then she took that name. She was like, yeah, I'm a stalker. I'm Stalker Sarah, and I was like,
Yeah,
you're so
no,
proud.
it's literally like that. There is this not big group, but there are some people that's basically what
Yeah.
they do every day. And in New York, I've met some of those people, and initially I'm like, wow, that's so cool. Like you got to meet all these people, but then you learn that oh, they intentionally do this. They intentionally make that their day to
Yeah.
day job, and then like to me, I think like as a teenager or something, maybe you might, like you said, like you might get a little jealous, like, oh, I wish I could do that all
Like,
the time. But then at a certain
you're
point,
like
I
voluntary.
realized like I, yeah, like I don't want to be like that. I could
Literally,
not.
it's like it's kind of it's creepy in a way because I remember here the biggest things we have in Canada were much music back when it was happening. So every year that it would happen, me and my best friend would be like, "We're going stalking downtown." That's what we called it because there's only 4 hotels we have. So in those 4 hotels, depending on how big you are, you stay at the richest and they go down to their lowest hotel. So we pinpoint those hotels and we would go and we'll stand and I met a lot of celebrities, but I didn't voluntarily go and every time they came into town and be like, they're gonna be in this hotel, I'm gonna go. No. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, not about it. I think the only time that I remember, the last time that I ever did that is basically how we met was when After was coming out. Ugh.
Hmm. Yeah.
But when they came to Toronto because their headquarters for WhatsApp is here, I remember I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, this is the hotel they're staying at, and I know because Roz and Milka, which is the radio guys, were there, and they're like, okay, well they're there. So I stood there for like I woke up in the morning and I think I left at like 8 o'clock in the morning because by the time I get down to the city, it's like 10 o'clock because I live like subway wise and transportation wise like and 2 hours away. So I went out there, froze my goddamn ass off, and saw a glimpse of them. I said hi, and then I was like, "Where are they going?" And then I was like, "They're probably going to the Wapak Studios." Got on a train, went to the Wapak Studios, met them there, and then my plan was to finish it off at the bookstore because they were doing a signing there. So I met her
Oh.
there, and I met a girl there and became friends and everything with her, and yeah, that's literally the only amount of stalking last time I did, and that's only because I knew where they were already going. Like I didn't voluntarily go. I'm gonna Google what locations and what their schedule. No, I already knew they were gonna be there because I tweeted it. You know how we just said that we love Selena. I would love to be like her. I would love to like have this outfit like her or be like this. You know what I mean? But I think for somebody who's already big in the industry to be doing that constantly is a little weird. And what kicked off this whole scandal was the whole eyebrow thing. And I didn't know what the hell was happening until halfway through when I realized I went on Selena's page and I watched it, the video that she posted, and they were talking shit about it. And I was like, you guys, one of you is a mother of 2. Do you not have a life? The other one is married to a Bieber. Do you not have a life? And the fact that you're making fun of someone for literally the bare minimum, and then yet trying to be that person constantly. What was a few days before that? She posted a song, and then she posted the same song on mute with 1 second in, and I was like, you are obsessed, and it's kind of weird. It's not an obsessed like, oh, I love her so much, like my love for Chris Evans. I'm obsessed, but I'm not like, you know, but she's upset, like she's crazy. And I literally was just when I went to the deep dive of that rabbit hole of the whole relationship involuntarily on TikTok, I literally was like, she literally every the G. I need to know the G stands for Haley. For Haley, I need to know what the G stands for because Ken.
No, it's like what you're saying. I think collectively that's why it's so easy for like the entirety of the internet to be on one side of what what everyone is perceiving the situation to be, because like all these things that like you just mentioned, right? So like for example, I know that I knew some of this information because I was someone who was like a fan and I was on
Yeah,
Twitter and that kind of thing. But I have like friends and cousins who were not into that, and they're sending me
that's like what
those
the fuck.
videos that like you're seeing, and they're like, "Wait, oh my gosh, I never knew this," or "Wow, like what the heck," and like
Yeah,
giving their take on it, and I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? That's it's one thing to like. I'll say this, right? Well, I'm sure we'll
yeah,
get more into it later to elaborate, but like I felt kind of like at an impasse because I'm like, all right, as like a fan of Justin and Selena, I've respected what he's got going on and I just
yeah.
love and support her. So I don't want to like contribute to like any of that stuff. But on the other hand, it's like okay, this is the kind of opinion that I had before and I let it go. So maybe because it just
It's not a
keeps coming
coincidence
back up,
anymore.
it's like, so it's just a little hard, like you were mentioning, like, wanting to dress like a certain celebrity or something, like you see an outfit. I had kind of like a series on TikTok where I'm like, oh, dressing as Zendaya
Yeah,
for like a week, or like
yeah,
inspo, or like outfit inspo by like Hailey Bieber even, so it's easy to do that, but then you still
exactly.
have to be your own person. You don't want to be known for those kinds of things, and so it is kind of like, uh,
It's a little.
it doesn't look so great when you have like matching tattoos as a person. And like, hey, if you want to be fair, we all usually find like inspo for a
Yeah,
tattoo from some picture or from some, but the same spot, the same thing. Like, I'm like, okay,
makes sense.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
I know.
I
For
don't
me, I
know.
literally was, for the life of me, I couldn't put my finger on why she got the tattoo to match. Like I literally,
I didn't even know
and
that
then
she
and the
had it
comments
until
are
like the past week.
killing me. Galena Beaver, and I literally I was done. It was Gustin Bieber. I literally was like, you guys are killing me. I cannot handle, because and funny part is someone was like, Kendall was there. Kendall allowed her to get this tattoo, and there's like a video of her going, the guy going, oh, so are you happy? You want to get this tattoo? Are you sure? She goes, yeah, I'm happy with my G. It's a good choice. And in my head, I'm waiting for it to explain what this G stands for, because Selena's one is for her sister, obviously. So what does yours stand for? Your last name is Baldwin. Do you have anybody with the name G in your family? I literally was shook. I was like, okay, oh, all right. But genuinely, I end up, oh my god, the cooking show that she's got out coming out now is exactly the same as Selena's.
Mhm.
I didn't want to believe it, and then I watched it.
Yeah, no, same, because like I said, I've grown to accept what is, and I've like tried to come
There's
around
no
to it,
on that
but
mountain.
there are things like, I'm like, this is beyond
It's like,
me.
I
I
can't
don't
defend you
know
anymore.
what to. Yeah, and honestly, I've never been that much of a fan
Yeah,
to
I mean,
like come to her aid, but yeah, I've come to a point of like maturity that I'm like, yeah, I don't need to like have something against you just because you're
literally.
dating whoever and I like his ex or something, right? So come past that, but then there are things that are like, this is
It's
kind of
awkward.
awkward. And it this is like a take that I don't really think I've seen anyone say on TikTok or like whatever. Um, Even like devil's advocate, right? Let's say that she's like not even trying to copy her, but they're just that much alike. Has anyone considered that Justin is just kind of gone after someone who has
Well,
the
that's
same
what that people were
tendencies
pointing
or.
out was the song, and was it a song called "Ghost of You" or something
Mhm.
that he has, or "Ghost"?
Oh
He was singing
yeah,
in that part like,
yeah,
I'll settle
something
for the
like that.
ghost of you. That song was obviously about Selena, but this girl thinks it's about him. It's about her, but it's whatever. But my point is, he literally settled for the ghost of her because she is literally Selena in Hailey form.
Yeah, it's like you gotta kind of think of it that way. Like, are we considering people that maybe he's just reflect, like find someone who has these reflections and like things that you might say or habits or like
Yeah,
certain interests or whatever. And that's very possible because we see people in real life do that every day. They go after the same type of person, like
yeah.
look wise, or like who are in this to the same thing. So even if she's not like actually just copying her,
Can you be
then
that similar to
that's
someone? You know
something.
what I mean? Like it's crazy. No,
Yeah.
for me, it's also the attitude of them. They're like, she seems like she's the best celeb. Like she's got an attitude to the point like you were nobody before Justin. even though your family was somebody, but your dad was a nobody. Your dad was the least favorite Baldwin. He barely acted in anything. And it's like, you're only known for Justin, so why are you copying an attitude? You know what I mean? And for how they got together towards the end was so weird to me, because literally I saw him with Selena, and then a month later they were like, Justin Bieber proposed to Hailey Bieber and to Hailey Baldwin, and I'm like, what happened? What timeline did I just skip? I thought I was hallucinating. Dead ass. I thought I was hallucinating. I was like,
Yeah.
wasn't he with Selena like last week?
No, I that year
Weird.
was just so weird. It was because, like I said, because I loved them both. Um, there was a time where I was like, I wish that they could be endgame. So when they got back together, and it seemed like they're doing healthy things this time, like they're going to church. They're doing simple things like going to
Yeah.
like bike rides and like whatever. Yeah, I was like, maybe they're doing better, and like the situation that brought them together, like her
Yeah.
surgery that she went through. Maybe this is like a
The wake up.
wow. I really had this epiphany. Yeah, like a wake up call. But I was really excited at that time. Like I'm sure, like on my Visco somewhere, there's probably like a picture that's like, oh my gosh, look. But the way that
It
it
was weird.
fizzled out, very
I didn't even see it
confusing.
fizzle
Yeah.
out. I didn't even see it fizzle out.
We didn't. No, it's like, the last real moment we had was like
Yeah.
Selena's birthday post for him. And then
We
it's like a week
engaged.
later, that's when like reports are coming out. And then shortly after, that's when you do see like pictures of
I.
like him and Haley popping back up. Still,
I.
I did
Oh.
not expect it to take such a
Like
drastic
marriage.
turn like
Okay,
how it
dating.
did.
But
Yeah.
I genuinely think that his team made him marry her, because if you think about it, like, it makes no sense logically. He is so in love with Selena still to this day, because this man has not defended his wife once. When it comes to Selena and him and her together, he's defended her in different ways, but like when it comes to the conversation of her and Selena, he never says nothing. Nothing, not a single word. So I think personally it was arranged by the team, because they were both going to Hillsong together, and when Selena left Hillsong because she realized what a joke it was, they're like, no, you just stick with him, whatever, whatever. And he even said in an interview, I thought getting married would save all my problems. And I was like, bruh, in what universe is getting married gonna help your problems? So he even knows he fucked up there, but he can't leave. But I still low
Yeah.
key, unfortunately, feel like they will divorce, and first there'll be a baby. That's my prediction. First there'll be a baby, and then they will divorce, and then he will go back with Selena. Or he will try to get back with Selena, and Selena will be not having that, because she's seen so much. What is that quote that goes, I've seen what I needed to see, and it's not happening. The one that he does. No, I've seen what I needed to see. So literally,
Yeah.
I think that's what's gonna happen. But the whole thing was so off to me. I couldn't.
Mm.
I couldn't.
Yeah. Like as to what you're saying, I I'll say this, right? Like J Lo,
Wait,
Benifer, like that. Yeah, yeah, like that whole thing. Um, it's kind of a reflection. Look how long it took for that to come to where it is now. Basically, like 20 years, and like 3 marriages later, a couple kids,
yeah,
and it's still reverted back to that. So it wouldn't surprise me if, like what you
yeah,
said, if that's how things play out. I think from what I can understand, there is like this Christian aspect of looking at the marriage. I'm not really one of these people, but like certain Christians do have that, like, well, we're married,
yep.
like we
And
can't
her
turn back
family's like
now.
that. Haley's family's like that. Her dad especially.
Yeah, like we can't turn back now, even if there's like
I'll
cheating
take it.
and
Yeah,
like things like that. Yeah, it's like, all right, we deal with this within our household and we stay together
crazy.
because that's not what we do. So, we've seen that, like, you see it in movies and
Oh, of
TV,
course.
but it happens in real life. That's just an imitation of real life. So, I feel like it could be something
Yep.
of that aspect because, you know, we know that her family is, like, very religious, and she's, like, said herself from, I think, like, the Call Her Daddy interview that, like, her dad is kind of like an opinionated person. So, I completely understand the pressures of, like, having that influence
Yeah.
into, like, what goes on with the relationship. And we know obviously Justin is like a religious person too, so maybe he does have that. And I'm sure because he's known her for so long, obviously, I'm sure there are parts of him that does love her in a
It's
certain
way
way, a different way, or there, yeah, like he's committed to her
I don't
because
think in
he's
love
in
with
it
her.
now.
That's the
But
thing.
I, yeah, I feel like we've seen people in less committed relationships come and speak
Lit-
up for someone or whatever. And we've seen him defend other relationships. Like when he was dating Sophia Richie and people on Instagram were like coming at her, he defended her
yeah.
and then he took a pause from Instagram after that. So you do, like, not us, but like him or whatever, you do kind of have to look at it like that. Like you're not doing
Or
much to
at
help the
all.
situation. If Yeah, like you're not, no, really, like you're not doing much to help the case, like the narratives that are going on, the things that people are saying, like people feel entitled to say what they think is going on in his mind because he's not saying it himself, like
Mm-hmm.
flat out, this is what it is, this is what we're not going to do, I'm not going to accept this.
Hasn't done
He
anything.
hasn't done that, so morale has
Yeah.
to just keep running and
Yeah,
running.
it doesn't.
So,
It doesn't, because
yeah.
he literally is very silent. He's very silent, and it's kind of like weird. But I think it
Mm-hmm.
definitely is towards the whole being Christians and the church and everything they're part of. But yeah, the whole situation was just weird, especially after the whole "Call Me Daddy" interview thing that she did. Oh, like her fans are always coming for me. Oh, we weren't this. And then the girl was like, oh, like, would you guys like hash it out? And they took a photo together a few weeks later. I'm literally like, so you're just literally asking for this? Like you're literally asking for it sometimes. Like it's not. How is it possible that you want her fans to respect you and not be mean to you, but you're so mean towards her? You don't want her. You don't think her fan base is gonna protect her because Selena is so freaking nice. She will never say nothing, but we will, and she will constantly say to us, "I don't want people tearing each other down, da da da." But it's like, Nabi, I'm tired of being nice. Like we've been nice. We've tried
Mm-hmm.
being nice. Like it's not
Yeah.
working at all. And also
Mm-hmm.
Selena's friends, Raquel, Ashley, and Courtney. How are they still following Hailey, and how are they still friends with her? If someone was talking like that to my best friend, see you later. Okay? See you later.
Yeah. Now, that is something that I also just recently learned about, like around the like
Mhm.
My Mind and Me documentary time, like the
I knew.
Call Her Daddy interview time, like last year. I just kind of really learned that they've
They
all
still
had
do.
like friendships with her and stuff. And it's, yeah, it's like, again, I try to think about it in like real
Mhm.
time with like personal experience. It's like that thing where in high school you're friends with people who don't know, like, well, how do I want to word this? You're friends with people, right? But
Yeah.
they're friends with someone that you have beef with, or like, there's an awkward situation. That's happened to me, and it's made me feel uncomfortable. But as that friend, you don't want to be selfish and be like, oh, like I don't feel
Yeah.
comfortable with you being friends with this person. Sometimes you speak up and they say those things or whatever, but I feel like because of the kind of person Selena is, she's just like able to look past it. She's able to look past like certain opinions or whatever, and keep those friendships separate. But it does kind of, like call people to question her friends sometimes, and like whether that's like their place or not to to step up if we don't know if she's asked them personally not to, like a while ago, or maybe she hasn't, but they just aren't the kind of people who want to get
Mm,
involved in that stuff. We'll never
mm,
know, but it does. You know, people are just used to that. Like as fans or like as family and friends of other people, we do like stand up and
yeah,
defend our people and whatever. So it kind of makes you
yeah,
question when others don't do that for people they're so close to. So I can totally understand where the internet and like people feel like
literally.
You're
And
questionable
speaking of
because
the
you
fact that,
have
because I
them."
was there again
But
in like live view of when she became friends with Ashley, the one with the black hair. Ashley was is the sister of this guy from a band that I used to that Selena was a part of. I forgot what they were called. Yeah,
oh, the scene.
yeah. So that's how they met,
Oh, I never
because
knew that.
she did a feature with her brother's band, and they became friends. They were friends for a very long time, like since 2000, and I want to say 9 and onwards. Like they were like known for that when she started doing her singing. Um, they were a part of that, so she became
Mm-hmm.
friends with her, and Ashley was everywhere, and only because of Selena, because no one knew her brother's band. Like it was a small little band that like they would literally come to like a restaurant and then they'll sing, you know what I mean? And they'll have like 50, 60 fans or something like that. And that is how she became friends with Selena, because of her brother. So they were together, and then to me, I was like literally like, she literally made you who you are at this point. She took you in under her wing or whatever you want to call it, and made you something out there, and you're gonna literally betray her with the one girl you know that she's the most upset about, that her boyfriend cheated on her with, and did all these things repeatedly that hurt her. If somebody was hurting my best friend, I would not be friends with them. Why would I voluntarily go, oh, I'm gonna be your friend because to me you're different? To me you're acting different, so I'm gonna no,
Yeah.
like that's not how it's gonna work, you know. And like I've stopped being friends with some people,
Mm-hmm.
and my best friends that are here that I've been best friends since high school, that they were like, they stuck behind me. They were like, no, bye, see you later, you're a shitty friend, see you later, you know. And I literally was like, especially coming from
Mm-hmm.
Ashley, I was like, what the hell? But Courtney and Raquel, I don't know where those two came from. They just like popped up one day during her breakup time in 2014, I think it was. They just popped up out of nowhere. I don't even know who they were. So it was mainly Ashley and a few other people. It was Ashley, then Samantha Blake, whatever she was, the one with the hair, and it was Francia, and they were all did the whole thing. So that was the main group. That was the main core group, and then the
Mm-hmm.
other ones appeared out of nowhere. Like I don't know where they came from. I don't know where they came from. So to me, it was a little weird.
Yeah.
But Raquel and Courtney and Ashley, I no longer give a shit about. I'm not a. I don't care for them as a person or whatever. But the other friends, I like. Teresa, love her, love her. She's so blunt and honest. I love her. She was the best assistant and best friend she had. I
Mm-hmm.
genuinely, she's the best one out of all of them. My favorite. I don't know if you know who she is, but she's
No, yeah, I know Teresa. Like we love her and love that
yeah,
she's like doing stuff for herself now, but they still
yeah,
have that like good friendship and everything. Um, Let me see. So, like, when you mentioned that you've had friends that you stopped being cool with, and people in your
yeah.
corner are like, "Yeah, nope, like we're done. Bye." I'm that type of friend.
I'm a
I
Scorpio
maybe
too.
it's
Don't
because I'm a
worry.
Scorpio, or maybe it's just my personality. That makes sense. But yeah, I'm just like, I can't be
Mm-hmm.
fake. I can't do that kind of thing. Like, I don't see everything in black and white, but in context like that, I'm like, yeah, you're either like my
But
friend, you're gonna back me up, or you're just not,
yeah,
because I would do that for you. This person wronged you, like this is the evidence that we've seen. Like, oh yeah, like that's it. And I'm like, I'll leave it to you to say whether or not you want
mm-hmm.
me to like speak up or say something to this person or do something. But for sure, it's hard to change my mind when it comes to stuff like that. I'm just not. I'm
Yeah,
very protective with my loved ones,
yeah.
so I completely get what you're saying. I'm like, anybody who's
This
not
is
like that, if that works for you, then hey, that's fine. That's how you guys function, you're accepting of that. But me personally, with my people,
Yep.
I just know how I am and how I expect them to be. And to some, it might not seem like the most mature thing, and I've come to understand that not everybody is like that. But in my own life, yeah, I'm like, I've stopped being friends with people who couldn't
No,
support
I
me in
get it,
that way
and I
because I would
understand that.
support them in that way. Yeah, because I can't sit and just like
Who
see
tore you
you
down?
hang out with this person knowing that we have beef or like whatever the situation is, we're not cool for whatever reason. I can't sit by and watch it. And I've had friends, and to be fair, like this is like high school time, but I've had friends like stay cool with like exes who like said terrible things or like contributed to like bad experiences for me, and you know how deeply it affected me, but they still stayed cool with
Yep.
that person. It's like,
I think in her head she has a different image of them because they were with her before she got sick and before she was diagnosed and everything. So I think to her she's like, they're my true friends, they're here with me no matter what. It's like, well, yeah, if they're benefiting off of you, they're gonna stay. They're gonna say whatever they need to say. So that's to that. I was like, I'm not having that at all.
and one thing I've realized with myself, just because of how black and white I really saw a lot of things, I've come to a point where it's like, okay, it like if that's what you say and it doesn't affect me personally, then
Yeah.
whatever, let it rock, and it is what it is. That's what I've come to with certain, not everything, but certain things when it does come to her, because as a fan, there are things that I do feel like protective of with her. Like I would defend her, like, but and when it comes to her personal relationships with people, I'm just like, hey, like that's you. I don't want to contribute to
Mm-hmm.
like the stress that you're seeing from like the internet putting all of this on you. Maybe you need to go on your own journey, or
Yeah.
maybe there's just really
Yeah.
stuff that we don't see behind closed doors. So
And I feel like it will die down
yeah,
soon, but I
it's
also
not
feel
letting
like
up.
someone needs to say something for it to die down. And by someone, it needs to be Justin.
Oh yeah.
Because Kylie tried. You're being silly. She gaslit everybody. That's not at all what we were saying. It's like, sweetheart, we know you were making fun of her. Like, don't try to gaslight us into saying that it wasn't about her, when clearly it was there in black. Like, it was there. Like, it was so obvious. Like, you're joking, right? Like, you're telling us we're stupid. Like, you're trying to make us look dumb. It's like, no. So she tried, failed. Failed miserably. So when she did that, nobody believed her. Not even her own fans believed her. And that was really sad. And now they're seeing the difference between them all losing followers and then Selena gaining them all. It's pretty funny to me. But the fact that we all are basing our popularity on Instagram is kind of weird.
I think the proper way for it to come to a close is for any of like the three parties, the three main parties here, to speak up. Selena's done that in the past. She rose above. She took pictures with Hailey to help that situation die down, and then it kind of went away after.
And Hailey shouldn't say anything at all because Selena said something. Selena said, I'm 30 years old. Like, I don't want to be part of this drama. And then she dipped, right? From TikTok. She left for a little bit. And Hailey is just making it sound like nothing even happened. I'm just like, you wanted her to meet with you to hash things out. We thought you did with that one photo, and that was actually Raquel's idea. Like, you did that. So how are you gonna come back around and do a complete 360 and do it again and still blame everybody else?
When you do that, it doesn't help at all. Like
At
it just
all.
that, like you said, that's what started this whole thing. So you got to be a little bit smarter than that. And even if it's not her, like PR teams and stuff, they can't literally control every decision you choose.
Literally.
But it's like even if it's not her, there's got to be somebody in your corner being like on top of that stuff to say like, hey, like
Like, you
let's not,
want her, do it in private. Don't be posting that shit.
because it's bad behavior. Like I don't like that kind
Like,
of
it's
person.
plastic. It's like Mean Girl. It's not even it's like a Heather's. Like, you know
Yep.
what I mean? Like, you're nice, but you hate each other. And even
Mhm.
Kendall's best friends with Hailey, yet you slept with the man multiple times, and then you like would have lives with them, and you would show photos of when you and him were making out, but it was just him by himself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not. They're not a group of friends that you need in your life, and they're just such mean people that you don't at all like have time for it anymore. Especially now, it's like, listen, that was a thing in early 2000s. It was all over the magazines. Like, celebrities were mean to each other. Everyone had a fight. Everyone had a feud. Hillary Duff and Lindsay Lohan, and then it was over fucking Aaron Carter, R.I.P. And
Yeah.
like all those
We've
things.
seen
Like,
this
you know what I
play
mean?
out.
Like, we're over it. Like, we're over
Yeah,
it.
we've seen this play out over and over in different scenarios with like different eras of people that are it at the time. And I'm just kind of glad that we're not like accepting of this
And
anymore. And at the very least, if we don't get anything else out of the situation, you can only hope that they don't do that ever again.
they will never learn. They're going to be
Mhm.
girls until they die. Dead ass. They're gonna be mean girls. How hard did Kim Kardashian come after Taylor? And then how
Oh,
hard
yeah.
did she get told that she was wrong? And did she say,
But
I'm
did she
sorry?
ever?
Did she say,
Yeah.
I'm this? Nope.
Some
She
people, yeah.
pretended it to happen. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? It's like that group will never apologize. Honestly, I hope this dies down soon. Because I'm tired of seeing it on my Instagram and my TikTok and everywhere.
I didn't understand how deep this got. At first, I just thought maybe I'm on this side of TikTok that's
No, my
promoting this,
on it too.
but like my family, yeah, I'm like my family and my friends sending me this stuff. I'm seeing like it might be random, but on TikTok I follow this like detailing account, and they're talking
Like,
about it on there, and it's
serious.
like,
Everyone and
yeah.
their mother is talking about this.
Yeah. So I know for a fact that Selena hates when this is like what she's
Known for.
most uh, known for, and like what is going on, like when she's seeing her name in the
Yeah.
tabloids and like social media. I know that she hates this a lot.
Loving Selena like we used to. No, but honestly, I agree. I think it will slowly because the more she posts about different things, the more the outlets are
They
eating
don't
that up.
have much to go off.
Yeah, they don't have any more anything else because now it's just fans doing
Mm-hmm.
theories, right? So the outlets don't have any other information to be putting out except for what TikTok is
Yeah.
saying, right? So for her posting her family and posting being on set, now that's all they're talking about. So hopefully that keeps going because I need this to be over because I'm so tired. Personally, I'm tired of hearing about the Kardashians and the Jenners and Hailey. Like, I'm tired of hearing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to hear about it anymore. Like, they're mean girls, end it. That's it. End that whole situation and call it a
Yeah.
day. But we need to go back to focusing on different things. I think something big needs to happen for them to forget about that, theory wise, or a new trend to come up on TikTok.
No, really. That's the sad thing. Like, we don't want someone else to be in the hot seat, but something else that will move the relevancy towards that. It's just hard because of how big she is and everything. But still, like, it's about time. Let's do this for her. She's thriving right now, like, truly. She's
Yep.
back on top. It's all of the things that we said here aside. I just love her being able to be happy, whether,
Be her.
yeah, like in whatever fashion that is. I just want her to be happy, and so like
Yeah.
let's push for that more.
And light and energy. I'm done. But yeah,
Yeah.
no more Mean Girls. We're done with it. But thank you so much for
Mm-hmm.
being here for what how long have we been doing this? For like an hour and a half. We did this exactly for an hour and a half. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
You too. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Smile.